Hello and welcome to another episode of Nerds of the Roundtable podcast. This is episode 2. We are still on March, coming to the end of March now, so we're going to be starting, we already kind of started, I suppose, the spring/summer kind of movies with Batman vs. Superman. Today we're going to be talking about Batman vs. Superman, but before that we're going to be talking about characters in the DC universe. Again, Jazz and Tyree are going to have a lovely debate and a bit of a fight on who they think is the best character in the DC universe. It's going to be hilarious again, hopefully. At the moment, it stands on Tyree 1, Jazz 0. We're also going to be talking about the future of DC and what it holds after Batman vs. Superman. Like, are they able to do something that Marvel have done perfectly? And as with me, as usual, I have Jazz and Tyree.
Hey guys. Hello.
They won't be here next week. I'm hoping to have someone different because it's the Walking Dead finale, the 90-minute finale that all you Walking Dead fans are looking forward to, as well as me. Where rumour has it that we will get introduced to Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character, which would be really interesting. And the way they left off last week's episode was very interesting as well, but I won't go into too much detail about that. Next week's episode of ours, we'll go into detail about The Walking Dead. And then we're also going to be starting a podcast every week when Game of Thrones comes out and talking about the latest episode of Game of Thrones, and we're going to be truthful about it. Saying stuff that we liked and didn't like, unlike Thronecast, which is very, they love everything about it. Sorry if I sound like I have a bit of a cold. I kind of just woke up about 20 minutes ago. Kind of forgot that we were doing this today. Oops. But let's get straight onto it. We are going to start with the wonderful debate that is the best character in the DC universe. I kind of given Jazz and Tyree maybe 10 hours, 12 hours to prepare this. So longer than last time, because last time was just literally before the podcast. But I've given them enough time, I feel like, to prepare to choose their best character in the DC universe. And to be clear, it doesn't just have to be a superhero, it can be any character they've liked, kind of seen develop in either the comic books or the movies or any TV shows. As I gave... Who went first last time?
You did.
I did.
So Tyree went first last time and he won, so I'm going to give Jazz the chance to kind of get straight into it. Have you got your idea, Jazz?
I've got my character.
Okay, go on, Jazz. Who's your character?
My character is Jason Todd. I think he was one of the Robins. He was the second Robin. Okay. And I think what's so fun about him is he's the most dark and violent Robin, and if you see all the other ones, they're a bit more straight up normal crime fighter sidekicks, aren't they? So, and Jason Todd becomes more of the again, he's dark, and he also big. I guess it's not a spot. He's killed by the Joker, isn't he? And then he becomes the next best character, which is Red Hood. And I think it's just really fun to see sort of a friend and a hero who worked with Batman to become an enemy of him. I think it's really interesting, and it sort of tests Batman's strengths, really, doesn't it?
Okay, awesome. You've had your little introduction. Now Tyree's little introduction.
Alright, I was going to choose Batman, but I felt that was too obvious, so I'm going to go for Mr. Freeze.
Okay. So, just quickly, Jazz, your one, which kind of version of Jason Todd were you going to choose? Like, from like a game or a TV show? Or
I think
best one to
yes. He's pretty much the same in the comics. If you'd go back, it wasn't a great... Arkham Knight, he was... The Arkham Knight, wasn't he, Jason Todd?
Yeah.
And so, he's pretty much the same throughout, really.
Okay, and then your example... What example of Mr. Freeze are you choosing? And... I feel like if you choose Arnie, you might lose.
It's definitely not Arnie.
Okay.
And it's definitely not the 60s series either.
Okay.
I'm going based by the Batman animated series and the one from Arkham City and then the ones following them.
That's a good one. Yeah, I like that.
Okay. I say Mr. Freeze because I know he's on the surface he's quite a silly villain, but they gave him such a tragic backstory about trying to find a cure for his terminally ill wife, and then he has actual reasons of why he becomes a supervillain, and I think that's good character development. And it's instead of the Joker or Ra's al Ghul who are evil for the sake of being evil. They gave Mr. Freeze an actual purpose of why he's doing this, and he knows he's doing bad things, but I guess he doesn't want to admit it because he thinks they're good things like what Batman does. I think that makes a good character.
Yeah, but I think Jason Todd
we're getting straight into it.
has as much, or even I guess
ding ding ding,
even more character development than Mr. Freeze, because he's not just a one-note guy. Like, he's not just a Robin and then Red Hood. He can be a lot of things, especially in Batman R.I.P., where he goes to fight the entire like Batman family, and it's really fun. By that time, obviously, Batman's dead.
Yeah,
and it's fun to see him really try and go through with everyone, and then it shows him a lot about his character when he's defeated by previous Robin, Dick Grayson, who is now Batman. I think it's really fun to see, like, character with a lot of flaws, but he doesn't want to admit that he has flaws. He knows he's not as good as what Batman was, but he do his best to take him out.
Okay.
Yeah, they're very good points, Jazz. But with Mr. Freeze being a villain, you'd expect him to be very one-note, with just evil plans and killing people and what have you. But they made him much more complex when Mr. Freeze even has a no-killing rule as Batman does. Because he knows if he does that, he's going to be as bad as people suspect that he is. So he's just trying to get by and do the best he can for his wife.
In Batman vs. Superman, we see Robin's costume, right, with the Joker's graffiti on it. Obviously, they're signaling that they're going to do a Red Hood movie, which we've never seen live action before. And we've seen a live action Mr. Freeze done terrible. I mean, be honest, if you were going to choose between a Red Hood storyline for a Batman movie and a Mr. Freeze, you choose a Red Hood, right?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from completely. What I will say, though, is Tyree did give the example that he is not using the example for
Fair
that.
enough.
The examples that he's using is the animated series and the
Arkham
game. So I suppose if he's doing it like that, that's pretty interesting. But so okay, so basically, the best way that I can maybe decide on who I think is really good is I want to hear some more about why each other's isn't like as good as the other one, but I also want to hear if they do make a Red Hood movie or a movie with Jason Todd in it and the whole death of Jason Todd sort of thing, and they do make a movie with Mr. Freeze in it, who would you want the actors? Which actors would you want to play?
What, if for like a Jason Todd?
Yeah.
That's tough.
Have a little time to think, but while you're thinking, debate on why you think each other's isn't as good.
All right. I think Jason Todd's quite an obvious choice, especially for hardcore Batman fans. He's a good character, but I chose a villain because it's not something that, and especially a more obscure villain than Mr. Freeze. It's not something that a lot of people would say.
Yeah, but I think I know you've chosen a Batman villain, which is always fun. But I've also chosen a villain, if you think about it. Jason Todd's a villain. But I think Batman fans find him a lot more interesting than Mr. Freeze. I think Mr. Freeze, I mean, you probably can do him right, but he's hard to take seriously in the now very serious Batman lore, right?
I took him quite seriously in Arkham City.
Yeah, but with the games, it was trying to be a lot more comic book than how the films would play out.
So then, if you say about the films, who would you choose to play Jason Todd off the top of your head? If you
What's his name? Adam Driver. He played Kylo Ren.
Oh.
Okay.
Because I know it's sort of the same thing, but he's very angry.
Yeah. Isn't he a bit too old?
Yeah, but guess you could count it as maybe Jason Todd's a much older Robin.
Okay. And Tyree?
I'd choose an actor named Reg E. Cathy as Mr. Freeze.
Okay.
He's from House of Cards. He's got a great voice, and he's got a good dark demeanor to go with Mr. Freeze's personality. Okay,
so if you could kind of play out the film, so how would you kind of so your film's coming out, and they say, okay, we need the kind of little synopsis, so about 2 lines, Jazz, of what the film is going to be about.
Mm-hmm.
And then same for you, mate. 2 lines about what your film's going to be about. Where's it kind of starting off? Where's it kind of starting from. Jazz, do you want to go first?
Okay, well, this one will have. Okay, this is the Ben Affleck Batman, yeah? So
Okay, Ben Affleck Batman. I'm happy with that because I like Ben Affleck
let's say
Batman.
it's part of the DCU films.
Okay,
It
DCU
would
films.
have to be a prequel Batman story because we've seen the Dead Robin's suit in the Batcave. And it would just play out exactly how the comics go. Dick Grayson's dead now and he trains the new Jason. But I'm thinking actually now, I don't think you could fit it into one film. I think it would have to be maybe two-part or a trilogy of to build up to the Red Hood.
Okay.
Because the Joker's also a big part of the film, so I don't think we'd be able to do it in one movie.
Okay. Okay, and Jared Leto's Joker, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Tyree, little synopsis, go on.
Right, I'd have obviously it's the same with the Ben Affleck Batman, but it'd be about Batman's trying to stop a diamond heist well, not a diamond heist. He's trying to stop a heist with Mr. Freeze, who's trying to find some elements to the cure for his wife. And I'd take some from the New 52 story, which actually also involves the Red Hood, who hires Mr. Freeze for more sinister acts for the Court of Owls.
Okay.
But on the surface, it'd be like a heist film with Batman characters in it.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Okay, so little just final thoughts from both of you on why your kind of character will be a better choice for the DCU. And yeah.
I think Jason Todd would be a better fit because we've seen Ben Affleck was a very dark Batman, wasn't he? He was a lot darker than the Dark Knight films. So I'm sure fans are going to want to see the Jason Todd character finally live action and in those films, and you'd want to see, especially with how Ben Affleck's fight scenes happens, you want to see that between the two, right? I think it would just make it a lot more interesting than Mr. Freeze would just be a lot more of the same old crashing into things and giant special effects rather than a more close call, smaller hand-on-hand fight, right?
Okay. And would you let Zack Snyder continue with the Batman in your one?
I'm not sure. The stuff he did with Batman was really well done. So if he kept it a bit more smaller scale, then yeah, I think Zack Snyder did a good job.
Go on then, Tyree. Why yours will fit in a bit better, and also would you still have Zack Snyder?
I think mine would fit in better because there is a good character in Mr. Freeze. There is a lot more to him, and I think fans would want to see him done well. And I think that he can be done well if you follow the right source material. And would I have Zack Snyder back? Maybe, because it could go into the same stuff blowing up and special effects laden climax. But I think there is something there for more of a intimate story.
Okay. This one was actually harder than last time to make my decision.
I'm back with a vengeance.
You are. You came back quite fast. Okay. This is where I stand. I didn't really know much about Jason Todd until kind of the Arkham games. I knew a little bit about the whole kind of death of Jason Todd. I thought that was really interesting. And I know quite a lot about a fair bit about Mr. Freeze. I've seen the TV show, and obviously I've seen Batman and Robin, but I don't think that's a good example, really. And I liked him in the game as well. I remember that being really tough, actually. There's so many different ways to have to take him down.
Yeah.
It's pretty
and
cool.
he gets smarter too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he gets smarter, which I thought was really cool.
Scary.
This is what it came down to. It sort of came down to what I thought would be better in the DCU, and the way that we saw the Dark Batman. If you're not knowledgeable of the DCU that much, like, you know, why he's so dark, I suppose you'll kind of find out that I suppose he's kind of got even darker after the death of Jason Todd. So as much as I would love to see a Mr. Freeze film, it came down to seeing Jason Todd, and I think if they... Personally, for me, I wouldn't agree with Zack Snyder. As much as I love Zack Snyder, I think he can do adult films, he can do dark adult films, but I would personally get rid of him and bring in a adult dark director and do like a really dark Batman film. I can't think off the top of my head if I'm truthful, but what it came down to was that, and I would prefer seeing that in the DCU than Mr. Freeze, because I like that casting choice, but I just can't. I couldn't see them kind of just bringing Mr. Freeze into the DCU because I can imagine them bringing other. Like, I can imagine them, first of all, bringing the Joker and bringing, obviously they already have, and then bringing other villains into it first. Like,
Okay.
kind of Catwoman, Penguin and stuff like that. So what it came down to was I would prefer seeing that more than that, even though your argument was pretty good. And yours was good as well. Your both arguments were good, but it came down to literally the smallest percentage, and I wanted to see Jazz's more, so Jazz gets the point. So it's 1-1.
I will quickly just say, I think there's a lot of talk about who might be directing Ben Affleck's Solid One, and I think I'd like Ben Affleck to direct it.
Okay, yeah.
Clearly a good director.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It'd be interesting to see Batman direct a Batman film.
I'd like to see Kevin Smith do it.
Yeah.
He proves that he can do dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he knows his stuff.
Yeah, he knows his shit.
He's directing some episodes of The Flash.
Yeah. Well, I don't like The Flash.
No, I don't really have.
Okay, okay, big talk now, guys. This is where it's getting down to. This is where a lot of people kind of have been talking for the past couple of days. There's been reviews, there's been podcasts, there's been videos, there's been
Outcry.
There's been literally all sorts of media has been used to talk about this film. And I'm gathering that a lot of people who want to see it have seen it now. But before we continue, I'm going to say spoiler alert. So if you continue from this point on and you haven't seen the film and you listen, let's go with spoilers. And if you get pissed off, you get pissed off because you've had a spoiler alert. And I said spoiler about spoiling loads, spoiler, like tons of fucking times now.
We'll give you some time of silence for you to decide whether you want to continue or not.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get down to it. We're going to talk about Batman vs Superman. Obviously, if you actually like following us and actually liking us and hopefully reading, you would have seen Tyree's review, which was very positive towards the film. He liked the film. But there's difference of opinions. I suppose the best way to describe it is Tyree's is positive. I'm kind of more negative, and Jazz's is
I liked
middle.
it, but it's not perfect.
There we go. So we've got 3 different opinions. We've got a positive, a negative, and we've got someone in the middle that sees both sides of the argument. So it can be really interesting. Tyree, what did you
I'd
say?
just like to say there are aspects of the film that I don't like, by the way. That's why I gave it an 8.
Okay, there we go. So I suppose yours is more positive, though, than anyone
Yes,
else's,
yeah,
because I think I might lay into some kind of shit here. Okay, I'm gonna let's get straight into it. Okay, I'm gonna start with the main thing that I found wrong with the film is you can very much see where the producers have kind of just had their hands in it and been like, no, look, we're going to take that out, because they've started to release deleted scenes that are going to be like in the extended cut already. Did you see the deleted scene?
I watched one today.
Yeah, the
Lex Luthor one.
The Lex Luthor one,
And
yeah.
it's annoying.
So they got rid of that. Don't know why. That would have been kind of cool to see.
I didn't see it. What was it?
It was like some sort of creature.
He has another vision about another villain. But
Yeah.
it's annoying because when they release it extended, you want it to fill out all the stuff that you didn't understand of the story.
Okay.
But this one's another flashback or something.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. Like they've literally.
Right.
Well, what I've heard is that there's in the extended edition, there's bits where Superman goes to Gotham to try and investigate about Batman. Why was that not in the film? Because there was a part in the film that I don't know if it bugged you guys or not, but because obviously we didn't see that, we didn't see him investigating him.
No.
And there's a bit where he walks up and says Bruce. How the fuck did he know he was Bruce? Because we didn't see on screen him investigating anything. Okay,
And he's not a detective either.
No. So, like, I mean, yeah, you can understand because he's like superpowered, so you can just kind of gather from that. But there's no substance to it where it kind of gave an example. You can see where the producers picked out, and I'm kind of annoyed that, okay, now everyone's like, oh, but no, because so now, ever since the bad reviews, they've been pushing the extended edition like fucking crazy.
It's coming out in July or something.
Exactly, because July, like, what, we're in March, that's kind of close, isn't it? They've been pushing it loads because they know that. I feel like there's bits in it where I'm gathering. I mean, I don't know, but obviously the producers and kind of pick shit out. But I can imagine Zack Snyder's probably been like, because he likes his director's cuts. I know he does. I can imagine him saying, "Oh no, okay, this is how long the film's going to be over 3 hours," and the producers are like, "No, take it out, take it out." And so they've cut it down to just over 3 hours, and the film was 2 hours and 40 minutes or something like that. That's a massive gap.
I think it's
out of
the
the film.
studio weren't going to release a 3-hour superhero film. I don't think they. it comes down to the bottom line from producers. The shorter the runtime, the more showings they can have.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we narrow it down to that, Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit both worked. Both
True.
3-hour films. Both managed. I mean, I used to work in cinema. Both they just put that in more, because realistically, all they're competing with is Zootopia. Zootopia can end at like what? There can be like the latest showing is like 6 or 7. Before then, you can have Batman and Superman in majority of the theatres that you want it to. I don't know. I just saw the producers. One thing I will say that was going to be positive, and this might be one of the only positive things in what are my kind of aspect and review of Batman vs Superman, is the best thing about Batman vs Superman was Batman.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
It's a Heath Ledger thing over and again, isn't it?
That's true.
It is. Everyone worried about. I was sort of worried about it, but everyone worried about Ben Affleck. Best thing about the film is Batman. It was so good, and it was one of my favourite Batmans, to be honest. It's very close. I mean, I didn't mind Christian Bale, but I didn't go to the Batman films and think, oh, I'm going for Christian Bale.
Yeah,
I went
for
because
the villains.
Every villain that Christopher Nolan kind of came up with was great, and the storyline was always good, and it was visually nice, and I really liked the trilogy that Christopher Nolan gave us. But this time, we've actually got a Batman that is really good, and it suits the darkness that Batman actually is. For me, like, I thought it was great. Like that's the thing that I'm going to say, which was great. And I like Wonder Woman. I kind of like the kind of last 2 acts. I mean, minus the Martha bit.
Yeah,
that was really off-putting for me.
I think they tried to give a reason. I don't know if it was because I think people are picking it apart in the wrong way. I think they're seeing it as Bruce Wayne is now not going to kill Superman because his mum's got the same name. I think it's more as now he sees Superman not just an alien, but
he's got
someone
parents
who's got parents and feelings.
Yeah, no, I did get that. But I just kind of feel like why did you say Martha? I felt cheesy. It felt badly
cheesy.
written.
Yeah.
I feel like scenario, bear with me for a sec. Okay, so he's about to do it and goes crazy. And then you have Alfred on the other line, where and this is where they could have brought James Gordon into it. Okay, they could have brought James Gordon into it. The police have got that warehouse surrounded where his mother is, and then you get on the line, and then Batman kind of hears it over his little speaker thing. And then, because obviously Superman's got that super hearing, so Superman starts to struggle, and then Batman's like, kind of like, why are you struggling? And then he finds out that it's his mum. That would have been a little bit better written.
Oh, yeah.
For me personally, because I felt like that was the Martha kind of thing was just, it felt cheesy for me. Like, and Zack Snyder, minus 300, 300 is cheesy, but like, there's a reason why 300 is cheesy, because it's supposed to be like a popcorn flick. Yep. Bloody cheesy kind of film, and I like that. But like Zack Snyder isn't that much of a cheesy kind of. He doesn't, I feel like he doesn't have to use cheese. He's good.
Well, I think it's down to the writer. I mean, I don't like him as a writer.
Well, apparently that scene got rewritten or something like that.
Oh, really?
I heard something along those lines that the Martha bit was like different. There's a different thing. Fuck knows, I don't know. But for me, it's a bit off-putting. But I don't know. Like, Tyree, what are some of your positives maybe that I haven't said that I might not like?
About the entire film?
Yeah.
I felt this is something I wrote in my review. I felt the story was better than Man of Steel. I think they improved on it. And yeah, fair enough, there was a lot going on. But when you have in Man of Steel, all the flashbacks they had of Superman growing up.
Do you not like that?
I didn't like that because I felt it stunted the character development of Superman. So then when it comes to him having to fight Zod, you don't really know this Superman, and
it even sort of ruins the relationship between Lois Lane too, doesn't it?
And I thought that was a good idea for Batman vs Superman to replace the flashbacks with story, so we can understand what turmoil this new Superman's in, which I thought was good.
Okay, I suppose the thing I'm going to say is that I saw Man of Steel again before I left for the cinema. And see, the thing is, when I went in to see Man of Steel, I didn't really want to see it, but it was a free ticket, so I went to go and see it. And I saw it in 3D, and I loved it. And Man of Steel was one of my favourite films of that year, actually.
Yeah, me too.
So I suppose the whole flashback thing, like, I understand it, but for me, I kind of enjoyed that. I don't know. I felt like Man of Steel had something that Batman didn't have. Batman vs Superman didn't have. And my main problem with it, and correct me if you think differently, it wasn't really Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, I agree.
It was. I don't know.
They shouldn't have waited so long for them to fight. I felt the fight should have had maybe 2 fights. One was in the middle, and then the fight we had at the end, which I felt should have been longer.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah,
I think we should.
And it was a very one-sided.
Yeah,
but I think I kind of like. Well, I don't know. It's tough to say. I don't know whether I like it or not because I don't think anyone was expecting it. People, as the film was coming out, people were saying, "Well, Superman's obviously going to win," but then it surprised you by seeing Batman's probably kicking the shit out of him. But then you do want to see Superman get some hits in there too.
Yeah. The thing is, because of the new bat suit Batman had, I thought that would make it a fair fight. I thought Batman would have the same or near enough the same amount of strength as Superman would have, but then. But yeah, like Jazz said, the fight was very one-sided, but I enjoyed the fight though.
No, the fight was still really good, and I feel like it was too slow. No, it wasn't like that.
A lot of build-up for something.
A lot of build-up, yeah, and it wasn't that long either. But they advertised it as Batman vs Superman, and this is the problem I had. So they advertised it as Batman vs Superman. Every fucking trailer that we got
was
basically the fight.
Yeah.
And basically, the best scene, one of the best scenes in the film, the warehouse scene where Batman comes in, fucks everyone up, Arkham fucking Knight style, which was awesome. That's what I've been wanting to see for ages. Like Christian Bale was just like that, but that was kind of like
more brutal.
Raid, well, maybe not as brutal as the Raid because the Raid.
But for Batman,
but like for Batman, fuck me, like that's brilliant. Like I thought that was great. Like. And like I said, I think the last 2 acts are really good, but the build-up is really bad. Like I feel like just the pacing just doesn't work. Like and the thing is, I'm complaining that obviously they didn't do the 3-hour version. So you're thinking, oh well, surely the pacing would have been worse. But maybe there's bits in there
that we need
for it to
get the story going.
Go along.
Yeah, I think when they released the extended version, you want to see even small scenes just to help you put pieces together and stuff. But then, like with that Lex Luthor one, what you makes you nervous that they're going to do it wrong. They're going to do it wrong and just put in even more scenes that make you even more confused. That's what I'm a bit concerned about.
I mean, there were a lot. You talking about the flashbacks earlier on. There were bits in this though where Batman was dreaming, where people in the cinema were confused as fuck. I mean, I kind of got it because like I was understanding what was sort of minus the flash bit. Yeah. Well, if that was supposed to be Flash, that confused me at first.
Yeah,
I was so confused because it kind of just happened,
and I didn't understand what you were saying.
No,
I didn't hear him.
I heard Lois Lane was the key or something like that.
That's what you said.
What the fuck that means?
But like then,
but is he talking about that film or
Justice League
in the future movie?
Because Batman didn't do anything about that then.
Yeah,
he didn't think, where's Lois Lane? I'm gonna fucking like
she wasn't the
kidnap
key to
her.
Yeah, so I'm guessing maybe a Justice League movie. I don't know why.
Because I thought that was going to be the reason they fight. Was obviously there's all this build up where Clark Kent's getting sent shit about the Batman.
Lex Luthor's doing stuff.
Lex Luthor's sending Bruce Wayne shit. I think that's what it's supposed to be. He was sending him shit.
Silly. I mean, in the beginning, there's a reason to fight. Superman killed people. Batman sees Superman as a threat, right?
Yeah.
That's quite a good reason.
Yeah.
Obviously, Superman probably doesn't see a reason to fight Batman, but they could have done something. They could have done something better than
tick tock, time to fight, kind of
stupid.
He was betraying the fucking rabbit from Alice Wonderland in a way.
I want that to be a real reason for them to fight.
There was the reason that they gave us where Lex Luthor had basically kidnapped
Martha Kent.
There was no need for it. I mean, yes, it gave us the best fight scene one of the best fight scenes in the film with Batman taking on all these people, which was fucking awesome. But there was no need for it to be like that. They were already having beef, beef between each other. Like all these notes that said it was all building up. It would have still worked. It would have still worked if it hadn't had that kind of stuff. But I'm going to get on to my main problem about the film. And I know that you didn't mind it too much, but it bothered me a lot about the film. The worst thing I think about the film is Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
By far is Lex Luthor. I know you kind of enjoyed it.
It didn't bother me too much as the film progressed, but I did write in my review that he could have toned it down a little bit.
Yeah. You hated it as well. So this is good. So me and you both hated it, and
I didn't mind it.
He didn't mind it.
I liked him in the beginning, but then he got a bit too over the top. But I'm also not so like I'm okay with it because I read earlier that he wasn't he's Lex Luthor's son. So it doesn't make it as annoying that they've ruined that character. It seems like
it's a new Lex Luthor.
Yeah, but
I understand it's Lex Luthor's son completely. Okay, I wish I hadn't done the Lex Luthor son thing. Bullshit. Shouldn't have been Lex Luthor's son. Silliness. No, they should have gone with their. They had two original choices. I know they had Bryan Cranston, who was going to be Lex Luthor.
He was considered,
and there was someone else as well.
I think Joaquin Phoenix.
There was another person as well, and I can't think of his name. So sorry, can't think of his name. Tyree's going to find it while I talk. They should never have done Lex Luthor's son. Yeah, maybe they should have had Jesse Eisenberg in the background or someone else in the background playing his son, not doing too much. You know that there's something going on, but Lex Luthor's the main kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then he kind of takes over his father's thing. But for now, okay, we're in Batman vs Superman. We're in the first kind of film we get to see Lex Luthor. And who do they get? Okay, first of all, this is the main problem. For me, before the film, I wasn't looking forward to it because I'm not a massive fan of Jesse Eisenberg. I think he's very good in Zombieland. I like Zombieland.
He's an arsehole, though.
But he's an arsehole. In real life, he's an arsehole. I know, because I've seen interviews, he's an arsehole. And I don't like the way he portrays characters. I'm not a massive fan of. So that was the first problem, that they cast Jesse Eisenberg as a Lex Luthor or even Lex Luthor's son. That was the first problem about it. Right. Second problem, fucking Instagram kind of kid, which was like, he was like a hipster in a way.
Rich kid of Instagram,
yeah,
Lex Luthor.
And he was evil, but then that deleted scene showing us that he's talking to aliens or gods. But we didn't fucking see any of that. Like, what the fuck?
Because I think... Oh, wait, Tyree asked the actor, by the way.
It was Tom Hanks.
That one...
Okay, Tom Hanks.
I don't know if I could see that. Obviously, we've been...
I kind of wouldn't want him to get involved,
No.
But Bryan Cranston would be the perfect choice, but I
think that was way obvious, though.
I'm going to...
They got more actors that they wanted.
Gone.
Matt Damon.
Oh, fuck me.
Bradley Cooper.
No.
Oh, my God.
And Adam Driver.
No.
So, just...
If they cast Bradley Cooper, that's just as bad as casting
that's pretty bad,
Jesse Eisenberg, because Bradley Cooper is a one-note actor. Yeah. And I know you fucking like American Sniper. I'm sorry, this is going on a different fucking rant here. American Sniper is fucking bullshit. American, God bless America. Let's kill these Iraqis and have no fucking feelings about bullshit. I fucking hate American Sniper. We'll do another podcast on that. I fucking hate American Sniper. Okay. Most boring date night of my life. Christ.
I liked it.
Gone.
Even though I didn't mind Lex Luthor, I was waiting for... if you've seen the other Superman movies, Lex Luthor has never been done seriously. He's always been a wisecracking con man. Even the Kevin Spacey one and Gene Hackman. So I was waiting for this, for Batman vs Superman. I was waiting for him to be maybe our first serious businessman, Lex Luthor. And whilst I didn't mind the weird ticky one too much with Jesse Eisenberg, I do wish he toned it down a bit, and maybe he can in the future.
Because it makes it hard to see why Superman would see him as a threat.
Yeah.
It's like he thought, Superman can just punch him and it'll be over and done with, really.
Okay. I have another point to make. And it's sort of Jesse Eisenberg and the part of the plot. Okay, this is what I don't get. Because it didn't really explain it too much. Okay, so, you know how Superman and Lois Lane are going out?
Yeah.
Okay. So if they had a kid, it'd come out normal, yeah? Like a normal kind of half Superman.
I don't even think they'd be able to have kids.
No, they won't be able to.
Like the
I swear Superman has a kid, doesn't he?
Well, if you watch Mallrats, Kevin Smith film, they mentioned that Lois Lane's fallopian tubes would be able to handle Superman's sperm, and he'd only have to have a baby with Wonder Woman who'd be strong enough to have it. So I don't think that would work.
Okay.
But let's talk about this.
Well, yeah,
if you can.
So,
hypothetically,
if that's the case then, or whatever, how did they get Zod mixed with Jesse Eisenberg, well, Lex Luthor's blood, and how did that turn into Doomsday?
I don't get it.
Didn't make any sense. Didn't make any sense to me. Like, what is Jesse Eisenberg? Is he not human then?
Why would normal human blood help?
Because he wanted
resurrected alien.
Because he wanted a piece of him in there, I guess.
Because then it makes you think: is that how they're going to? Oh, we can talk about spoilers, can't we?
Yeah, we can.
Is that how they're going to bring back Superman? Because even though you see the dirt in the, how is it going to be like Batman?
Oh, that's another problem as well. Okay, they killed off Superman in this film. There's no build up to it.
It was
That's all.
shocking though.
It was, yeah.
Unless you've obviously read the comics and you know what Doomsday is.
As soon as he went flying towards him, I was like, I'm just gonna stab him. He's just gonna stab him.
Yeah,
Because
no.
as soon as he as soon as Doomsday grew the bone out of his thing, I was he's gonna stab him. He's gonna stab one of them, and one of them are gonna like die. And I feel like do you know? Okay, this is the problem. I liked when they brought Doomsday into it. It's pretty cool, but it's more destruction, wasn't it? Let's be serious.
Like Man of Steel.
Yeah,
Which makes me worried for Justice League.
They should have just. They should have left Doomsday till the next one, because they should have left Doomsday till the next one where all the rest of them are in it.
Justice League.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Leave it till Justice League where the rest of them are in it. So they're all fighting Doomsday, but Doomsday's like takes out Wonder Woman, because then takes out Batman, then takes out Aquaman, then takes out the Flash, and it's just a fight between Superman and Doomsday, and they kind of both kill each other. And then that's the end of part one. That would have been good. Instead, they basically said, okay, well, this is what we want in all the films. And the producers were like, okay, you want that all in the films, yeah? Okay, we're going to put it together, and we're going to make it fucking 2 hours and 40 minutes. And then Zack Snyder's like, oh, but I've got a 3.5 hour director's cut. No, we're going to cut that, and it's going to be 2 hours and 40 minutes. Oh, okay, so you're going to cram fucking everything in, the last bit.
Yeah.
Into like what? The last bit was like what? 30 minutes? Or should we say 30 minutes to give it maybe a bit more of a... So the last 30 minutes I enjoyed. And then I also enjoyed the bit where Batman's dream sequence in the desert.
Yeah, with all the like...
Where was it supposed to be? Dark?
I think that was Metropolis.
I thought it was supposed to be Darkseid, was it? Or...
Yeah,
Darkseid
and his flying people.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're building up for a Justice League film.
Yeah, so I see that, but I would like them to do Doomsday, and then obviously... I'd like them to do Doomsday in... I would like them to do it in Justice League, and then lead on to the dark side where everything starts to change, and obviously they all think everything's fucked because Superman's dead. But now the way it looks is... If whoever brings back Superman, maybe is he going to be evil Superman or something?
Bizarro, I think.
Oh well, there's the Injustice storyline,
Yeah.
which is pretty. Well, that's evil Superman,
Bizarro.
which is pretty early. I mean, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I just like to be Mr. Positive for a while.
Okay, go on. No, I've shit on Batman Superman for a bit too long. Go on, time.
I'd just like to say kudos to the filmmakers for doing what they did at the end with Superman, because it's something that Marvel wouldn't have the balls to do, because they haven't killed anyone off yet.
I'm sure we're expecting Captain America to die in.
When they killed off Quicksilver.
Well,
but
Not at the end. You didn't see. Oh, they're putting him in his grave. Oh wait, the ground's fucking shaking. It's going to be a lion.
They've done it with other characters before, like Coulson and stuff. So.
yeah, but he came back.
Well, I know, but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But then this one's come back as well.
All right.
I'm going to let you be positive. Just
True.
give me one more thing. You know that last bit where it was the thing started to move the ground.
yeah.
Did you hear about it? Did you hear about the decision about it? It was a last minute decision.
Yeah, they didn't know how much of the dirt to show, and
No, it was. They were thinking. Yeah, but that as well. But they were thinking of maybe not doing it. So the fact that it was a last minute decision, I feel like showed that it was a last minute decision, and for me it didn't work. I feel like if they're going to kill Superman, kill him, and maybe bring him back as something different. And,
as too early as it was, I have 2 points. One point is positive, and it gives sort of a good reason for them to form Justice League in a bit. But the negative reason is that now that Superman's been killed in his second film, if they try to kill him in like let's say a Justice League 2, it's less emotionally driven now because they can just bring him back because
we'll just do the same as last time. Like
Yeah.
just bring him back, bring the little fucking cunt back. Like seriously.
It was a brave thing to do, though. I didn't.
Yeah,
I thought when he was sad, I was like, "Oh, it's going to be the classic film. Like he's just going to come back alive again." Blah blah.
Oh, I don't know. This is okay. This is the problem I had.
It's divisive, isn't it?
It was I suppose what it was at first kind of labelled as a Man of Steel 2.
Yeah, and then it became Batman.
It was a Batman film. It was a Batman film because Batman was in it more. But you know, out of all the bits in the web when Batman was in it. Okay, there was only one problem I had with the Batman bit. And it maybe not a massive problem because it had two cast members that I really, really liked, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and...
oh, God, I know what it is.
oh, my God, I can't pronounce her name. It's not even a hard name, I just can't think of it.
Who's this?
The girl, Maggie from The Walking Dead. It was the fact that we got
That's a fucking origin story.
we got Batman's origin story and the death again. What I will say is that Zack Snyder, that Pearl bit with the gun,
it's pretty.
he knows how to do that kind of stuff because he does a lot of that in Watchmen, and Watchmen is one of the best films ever made.
He can make it exactly like a comic book, can't he?
Yeah, and I think it was really cool and it looked really nice. But I've seen Batman's parents die about 5 times. I don't need to see it anymore. I don't care.
You know
anymore.
why he's Batman.
And I don't need to see bats anymore.
That's the only.
I don't need to see bats anymore. I understand why he's Batman. I've seen it so many times. Like fuck. How many? Okay, let's see. Okay, how many times have we seen that origin story?
Batman Begins.
Let's start way back.
Oh right,
the Tim Burton film.
Tim Burton film. That was. Did we see it in Batman Returns as well?
No. We see that the Joker did it in the Tim Burton film,
Okay.
and then
You see a small snippet of it in Batman Forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Batman Begins.
Okay.
The comics,
Yeah, all the comic books,
the cartoon shows.
cartoons, and they obviously hint at it in Arkham Asylum.
Yeah,
But that's for more
Nolan,
of a Scarecrow nightmare. But
and then
This new film.
this new films at least like 5-6 times.
it's just stupid. It's like if they keep showing like Spider-Man getting bit by a spider.
That stresses me out so much. The fact that I'm so glad that I hope they're not doing any more Spider-Man or
No,
Spider-Man.
the new Spider-Man film is going to be. He's already Spider-Man.
Yeah, right.
Thank God, because I can't part up with another Uncle Ben dying. Like,
No.
fuck me. How many?
Fuck Uncle Ben.
They're gonna go through so many Uncle Bens like dying. It's the same like that. Like
They're
they've
off a
gone through
conveyor belt.
so many. Exactly. They're just going through so many like origin stories. We all know if you're in Batman vs Superman, you don't know why he's Batman. You're a fucking idiot.
And there's no emotion if you keep seeing it because you know it's
it bugs me now.
Yeah, it pisses me off.
That's a part of the film that I'm glad they just got over with in the beginning. And talking about the beginning, I'd like to talk about the other opening when it's got Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne looking at the action from. When he's. The fight at the end of Man of Steel.
Yeah.
And then.
No, that was good.
Yeah.
That was really good. I like that. No, I agree.
When he looks at the.
Gone.
Zod and Superman fight from his perspective. It was just a really well done scene.
No,
Like all the Batman scenes.
That's why, because I thought, when he looks up, hugging the girl.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, okay, now he's got a reason to go after Superman.
Yeah.
But it was more about Lex Luthor sort of like dared him to.
Yeah. Do you know the other thing though as well is how Superman turned up at Washington and he was here to plead his case.
Yeah.
Didn't even get to speak.
Yeah, they didn't do anything.
They just
with it.
ended that.
I wish he had.
So that storyline was pointless. Okay, this is how I saw the film. Okay, the film, without the bits obviously they've taken out for the extended cut to get more money, was 2 films for me. Well, it nearly felt like 2
It was a
films.
Man of Steel 2 and you could say it's 3 films. Man of Steel 2, a Batman vs Superman,
and then the ending was basically Justice
yeah.
League.
The only, I liked the movie. I could watch it again.
Yeah,
but the problem is,
I need to watch it again to maybe have a bit more of a better perspective
more
on it. But for
clarity.
now, I really didn't like it. Like
I
I've had
liked
some days of thinking about it, and there's just too many bad points in there. I was just like, fuck.
which is I liked it
Yeah.
enough, but I have to go see it again. What was I going to say?
So if he's given it 8, I'm guessing yours like a 6.
6, 7.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not great, but I can again watch it more.
See, because of the bits I liked, because I suppose there was bits in it that I liked, I'd probably have to give it like a 5 or.
The problem is
Something.
DC are rushing it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're rushing it. Marvel, we had like 5 years to wait for the event.
I like that. It was good. It was enough a build up for all the
I
fucking
mean, obviously
characters
now, okay, it's going to go Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, and then Justice League as their 5th film. But it doesn't feel.
What they should have
know.
done is.
We haven't had time to know the Flash and stuff.
Yeah, what they should have done is. I would have replaced Suicide Squad with The Flash or something. Because the Suicide Squad aren't going to have anything to do with Justice League, are they?
That's fine by me. I'm looking for Justice League.
Yeah,
See, like,
That's how
I'm not gonna lie. I know you are completely. But like, I suppose I don't know. Justice League. I really just hope that Justice League is very different from Batman vs.
I
Superman.
wish Snyder wasn't directing it.
But no, I agree. You should. We obviously, like Tyree said, we maybe had a Flash or something like that.
Or maybe not replace Suicide Squad, but just add an extra film on
No.
or 2
I agree.
to build up to the Justice
so
League.
we have something. I mean, again, I'm looking forward to Justice League, but something that connects with it, not
shit.
Justice. Oh yeah, we're doing a Justice League film next. Just makes it a bit.
I mean, I suppose the what we're talking about now as well, because we're still talking about Batman vs Superman, but we're talking about our kind of next point. We were going to talk about what the future of DC holds, and we're already kind of talking about it now. So that's just going to join into this conversation as well. Oh, I mean, like... Okay, so basically, the thing for me is... Batman vs Superman was all good and stuff.
I liked the film.
I did too.
But yeah, go on.
It stresses me out.
Just wasn't perfect.
Yeah, there's just bits in it that just stress me out. I just
Yeah.
feel like it was unneeded. I don't know.
Like it was like Avengers 2. There was a lot going on in
Like
Avengers
Age
2.
of
wasn't
Ultron.
there?
Oh, Avengers 2, fuck me. There's loads going on there.
It's just the only problem that they're rushing everything. I mean, when we watched the first Captain America film, they had the trailer for the Avengers, and we had so much time to build up to that, and you finally get to see it. But now, I don't know, this one, you're like, yeah, they know we can. You see what I mean? It just doesn't feel like it's going to be as exciting.
I kind of like Wonder Woman, you know.
Whereas sexually or
well, no, like I liked her in the film. I thought she was one of the best things about the film as well. Like, I think Superman was boring in the film.
He didn't have a lot to do, did he?
And then there was that mountain scene that made no sense.
Mountain scene.
Where Kevin Costner showed up.
Oh yeah, what was that?
That was... What the fuck was that?
That was something they should have got rid of.
Exactly. Why didn't they get rid of that and put Superman fucking wandering around in Gotham?
Because it was supposed to... Yeah, exactly.
Because, you know, we could have probably... They could have thrown a villain in there. They could have thrown a Batman villain.
It was supposed to be something like his dad's telling him, like, advice, right? He could have gone to his mum for that, not some weird vision.
Weird thing. It would have made sense if Russell Crowe showed up. Maybe if he went to the thing of Solitude. But maybe they couldn't get fucking Russell Crowe for the next one.
Alright, I might change my rating.
Nice guy,
I might change my rating to a 7 now. All this talk's making me...
No. Stick to your opinion, man.
I'll stick to it.
Again, I have to watch it again. I can't judge a film from seeing it once, so...
Yeah, I'm just listing all the things that bugged the fuck out of me, and...
Maybe we should talk about some positives.
I've talked on. My positives is that I like the desert scene. It was really well done.
Batman's cool.
Batman was cool in it. Wonder Woman was cool in it. I liked the Batman versus Superman fight, even though it was only 20 minutes, maybe 10, 20 minutes.
I'm hoping that's something they expand on in...
And I liked... Even though I feel like they could have just put Doomsday in the next one, I like the Doomsday fight. That was still pretty good.
They could still bring him back, though.
I'd just like to mention, before the film was out, Zack Snyder did say that the film wasn't going to be that sort of versus film.
Yeah.
But I think putting that title on, the audience are going to expect... Obviously, they can do a 2-hour movie about...
And that's how they advertised it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he said, fair dues, he released that statement, okay? They advertised it in every fucking trailer. We got a poster as well.
Yeah, them facing off.
And it wasn't that. It was... The best way to describe it is, in the film, and even in the trailer you hear this as well, when Lawrence Fishburne is like, no one cares about Clark Kent taking on the Batman.
That's like what the producers...
That was exactly what the film was like. It was basically kind of like Clark Kent versus Bruce Wayne.
Which is ridiculous. Everyone cared
Superman.
about Superman fighting Batman. Like, audiences wanted to see it.
I don't know.
Could have been better.
I have nothing more positive or negative to say. I just personally like the film, and altogether, see, I normally would I'd do my rating out of 10, but I find it hard, so I'd do it normally out of 5, which is a bit easier, and I'd probably give it a 3 out of 5. To be fair, it just wasn't really my kind of thing. Wasn't really my cup of tea. There was enough in it that I enjoyed it, so I'd give it a 3. But there was not enough in it where I enjoyed it so much. I was like, it's going to be in my top 10.
Did you watch it again?
I need to watch it again to get an opinion, but it definitely wasn't. It's not going to be in my top 10 of this year by far, unless they release every single Adam Sandler film for the rest of it every day. It's not going to be. But that's just personally for me, and that's in the future for DC. The main thing I'm looking forward to. Three main things I'm looking forward to. Wonder Woman movie, because I like Wonder Woman and I want to see more from her. The Suicide Squad movie, as long as they don't fuck it up, and I'm looking forward to J.K. Simmons being Jim Gordon.
Yeah,
they're the only things I'm looking forward to now. And maybe fourth thing then, a Batman film, a single Batman film, which that would be really good. But that's all I'm looking forward to. I'm not looking forward to any more Lex Luthor, and Superman kind of annoys me now because he was just kind of a bit mopey in that film.
They need to make him a bit more.
Yeah, we could talk about Batman vs Superman for the rest of the day, but
he was dealing with. That's why he's like that. But yeah.
Final opinions. I've just wrapped it up of basically what you thought of the film, what you're looking forward to for the future of DC, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right, still an 8 out of 10 for me, or at least a 7.5. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the film for what it was, but it could have been a lot better, and I'm just looking forward to the other films, and I think there's room for improvement.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking forward to how they're gonna continue from this film, like how they're gonna bring back Superman and whether his character will change and stuff. And I'm looking forward to actually the Cyborg film. I want to see how the producers can make it interesting and like how they're gonna try and make audience to want to actually go see it and be invested in it.
That's one thing we didn't talk about. We'll just talk about really, really quickly.
The meta-human.
Did you like the way they introduced the rest of the Justice League?
No.
Because a lot of people did not.
I thought it was forced.
I see what you mean completely.
It seemed okay with the Flash because it was a security camera, but stuff like Aquaman and Cyborg, it seemed a bit like, oh yeah, they just got a camera and you see what I mean?
Well,
even Wonder Woman, it seemed okay, like a really old picture. I didn't mind that one, but...
What I would have done was, you know when Wonder Woman's looking on the computer and it's got all their logos on?
Yeah.
I would have just left it at that, because we know what that is. There was no reason to show, like, 2 minutes of each character doing stuff.
Yeah. See, a lot of people didn't like Aquaman, but I kind of liked it enough.
I like seeing Aquaman.
Yeah, I'll be interested how they'll do it.
Yeah.
But I'm with Jazz. I'm looking forward to seeing Cyborg the most. But where was Green Lantern?
I guess because he's in
Green Lantern?
space.
I don't know if they're... I mean, they are definitely doing Green Lantern, aren't they?
Yeah.
I feel like they're kind of on the fence still about it because of how the last movie went. I feel like they're on the fence with it. Any last kind of opinions about the future for DC and Batman vs Superman, anyone?
Take time with it and take care.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
I think they should slow it down.
There's good characters and stories in there. Just make sure you do them justice.
Okay, so this has basically been a bit of a DC podcast today, obviously because of everything that's happening with DC at the moment. We will be back next week after the Walking Dead finale, which is 90 minutes, 1 hour, 30 minutes. It's going to be a bit insane. Obviously, Jazz and Terry don't watch The Walking Dead, unfortunately, which I will try and get them into it.
Still, how many is this, like 8 seasons?
We're on the sixth series finale. Okay. It's good, though. So that's when we'll be back talking about that. In between, there's hopefully going to be little reviews. I think Tyree's got a Pee-wee's holiday thing reviews coming out for she was on Netflix.
I'm still writing by Terminator 6.
Yeah, Jazz is also writing an article about Terminator 6.
I'm writing an article as well.
Should it be doing? Tyree's writing something else as well.
I'm writing an article about my concerns about the remake of a film called The Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Okay, there we go. And I will try and put something up if something comes up that I want to talk about. But in the meantime, listen to this podcast, like, share, follow our page, Nerds of the Round Table. Obviously, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter and Blogger. You can find Plan 9 Films, which is Jazz and Tyree's thing, on...
you can find us on Facebook and Twitter, and you can follow... You can like our YouTube channel, Plan 9 TV.
And they should be having some stuff coming up soon. They've already got some stuff on there. But this has been it's been an interesting podcast, managing to talk about the kind of DCU and what's to come and what has come already. We obviously haven't got into as much detail as we probably could about Batman vs Superman, but if we talked about Batman vs Superman anymore, it'd
be as long as the film.
Yeah, it'd be at least a 3-hour podcast, and that's just no. That's just a bit too crazy. If you have any questions about what we thought of the film, please comment or share, or do try and get in contact with us, and we'll give you our kind of lowdown. But at the same time, read Tyree's review to maybe get a bit more insight in it. I'm not going to put a review up because I feel like it's just going to be loads of negative stuff. But
I'm not one to shit on a film personally.
Yeah,
but I see your opinion. But go on.
But. Yeah, thank you for listening. Second podcast. Obviously, next podcast, like I said, will be next week. Walking Dead finale. So hopefully you've watched it in time. We're going to have some of really kind of special, awesome people on here that just love The Walking Dead, know loads about The Walking Dead. It's going to be some insane talk, and there's going to be spoilers. There's going to be crying. I think it's going to break loads of people's hearts, and it's next episode personally for me. But thank you for listening. Like I said, like, share, follow us. And this has been Nerds of the Round Table. Thank you for listening.
Bye,
See you later.
Bye.